two instances of hate speeches at two different Dharm Sansads held in two different states. We will show you two images, one from Haridwar, where an open call to genocide was made on the 23rd of December. 3 people have now been booked, but none arrested so far. On the right are images from a Dharm Sansad or a religious congregation at Raipur in Chhattisgarh, where a seer has now been booked for abusing Mahatma Gandhi and hailing the man who assassinated the father of the nation, Nathuram Godse. So 4 days after the hate speeches at Haridwar Dharm Sansad, another religious gathering, this time in Raipur in Chhattisgarh, is in the line of fire. So you have a seer, Kali Charan Maharaj. He has been booked for abusing Mahatma Gandhi and hailing his killer Nathuram Godse. Now the Dharm Sansad ended abruptly after the event's patrons walked out, hearing Kali Charan Maharaj objecting to the abuses being hurled at Mahatma Gandhi. India Today's Hemendra Sharma brings you a top story on 5 Live.
वो मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी ने सत्यानाश पेल दिया
While abuses at Mahatma Gandhi.
नाथुराम गोडसे जी को नमस्कार है.
Praise for Gandhi murderer Nathuram Godse.
खुला चैलेंज.
Spewing communal poison.
खुला चैलेंज दे रहे हैं.
This Dharm Sansad in Raipur was nothing but a stage to spread hate and incite.
तुम ढंग से तुम्हारे धर्मोत्सव मना नहीं सकते अगर.
The man on your screens is Kali Charan Maharaj. After abusing Gandhi and hailing Godse, Kali Charan even went on a tirade against Islam.
वो मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी ने सत्यानाश पेल दिया. वो नाथुराम गोडसे जी को नमस्कार है. मार डाला. महात्मा गांधी ने क्या कुछ नहीं किया जिसे राष्ट्रपिता.
His venomous comments even forced the event to come to an abrupt end after the patrons stormed out of the venue, objecting to the seer's use of provocative and abusive language.
मैं बहुत क्षमा चाहता हूं आप सबसे. आप लोग भले ही बुरा लगा हो. इस धर्म संस्था में अपने आप को अलग करता हूं, पृथक करता हूं. धन्यवाद.
After outrage peaked, authorities were forced to act. A case has now been registered against Kali Charan Maharaj for his controversial remarks against Mahatma Gandhi, but he is yet to be arrested.
और एफआईआर दर्ज करा रहे हैं क्योंकि ये अपमान पूरे देश और विश्व का अपमान है. राष्ट्रपिता महात्मा गांधी के बारे में जिस ढंग से अपशब्दों का कहा है धर्म संसद में, तो कहीं ना कहीं पूरे देश के नागरिकों में रोष की भावना है. तो हम सब कांग्रेस जन आज सिविल लाइन पहुंचकर हम एफआईआर दर्ज करवा रहे हैं.
The remarks against the father of the nation drew flack from various political leaders.
It is extremely unfortunate that those who are supposed to show us the path of peace, brotherhood, speak such words which are extremely divisive, which are full of hate, which are garnered towards attempting to divide society.
This kind of ideology, abusing Mahatma Gandhi, nation cannot be tolerated. It should be stopped and they must be punished. And we demand Mr. Prime Minister to speak on the issue because this is too much.
Audacity to speak like this, it is because they enjoy impunity because of the patronage of BJP governments, patronage of the Home Ministry, patronage of the central leadership of the BJP. Otherwise, this can never happen, that again and again this kind of toxic speeches are made and no action is taken against them.
Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, who was slated to attend the closing ceremony of the Dharm Sansad in Raipur, decided to skip the event at the last minute.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी लगातार धर्मांतरण और सांप्रदायिकता का माहौल छत्तीसगढ़ में बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. अभी तक के भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं के एक भी बयान नहीं आया है. गांधी जी राष्ट्रपिता के बारे में इतनी बड़ी बयान उसके द्वारा दिया गया है, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी मौन है.
Raipur's Dharm Sansad comes just days after a similar event was held in Haridwar where the attendees made communal speeches, calling for genocide and pushing for a Hindu Rashtra.
The question still remains as to why permission was granted for this event at the first place. With Vijay Irshad Khan in Raipur, Hemendra Sharma for India Today.
So Kalicharan Maharaj is known for Shiv Stuti. One of his videos had gone viral online, and suddenly this rant about the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and hailing the Mahatma's killer, Nathuram Godse. India Today's Hemendra Sharma now joins me for more on this big story. Hemendra, the Dharm Sansad at Raipur soon after Haridwar, and a rant there, a hate speech there. What is the administration doing? Under what sections have cases been registered? And is an arrest likely soon?
Well, case has been registered against Kalicharan under section 5052 and under section 294 of the Indian Penal Code that attracts maximum punishment of 5 years if found guilty and convicted. But Kalicharan has not been arrested yet. The police claim that they are on the lookout for him, but he has already gone missing from the place where he was staying last night. Also, I would like to tell you that as you were mentioning about the Haridwar Dharm Sansad, similar Sansad was held in Raipur, but permission was granted by a different government, the Bhupesh Baghel-led government over here in Chhattisgarh. And not just that, Bhupesh Baghel himself was to participate in the concluding session of this event, and it was just because of the hate speech or the abuses that were hurled at the father of the nation that he did not turn up at that event. But the fact remains that his government had provided the go-ahead, and they had asked for the permission, and the permission was granted to them. And also, this is a fact that the participants of the Raipur conclave or Raipur Dharm Sansad were the same, the ones who were there in Haridwar as well, particularly Pramodanand Maharaj. He was the one who gave that hate speech in Haridwar. He gave a similar speech in Bhopal as well. He talked about Myanmar, he talked about the partition and how it happened and why India needs to be a Hindu Rashtra. And in fact, the central theme of the entire 2-day Dharm Sansad was how to convert India into a Hindu Rashtra. They talked about it, they said about it, and they were very open about it. They were not hiding
What
nothing
have
about
investigations?
it. So the permission was granted by the Chhattisgarh government, even
Yes, and what have investigations revealed so far in this case? Was this an isolated rant? Were others on board? There were also reports that some of the seers, they distanced themselves from the rant and moved away. But have investigations moved forward, or is it only under pressure that cases have been registered but no arrests yet?
Well, as far as the case is concerned, this has been registered only because of the fact that the father of the nation was abused and the chief minister of the state was under pressure. The government was under pressure. There is a Congress government in Chhattisgarh, so that was under pressure. As far as the rant of Kalicharan is concerned, there were 5 speakers who came onto the stage after him, and all of them were all praises for him. In fact, it was only the last speaker, the main patron of the event, who distanced himself from the speech and walked out of the stage, and that's how the event came to an abrupt end. But not just the participants, the seers who said that they were okay with it, but it was also the crowd that was present on the spot at that moment. If you see the video, Kalicharan is being greeted the moment he's abusing the father of the nation. So these are the times that we are living in. The father of the nation is being abused, his killer is being hailed, and people are cheering and applauding that.
Keep tracking that story, Hemendra. I will come back to you for more. There's breaking news that's coming in from Uttarakhand. The Haridwar police are yet to make any arrests in the hate speeches that were made at the Dharm Sansad at Haridwar. FIRs, of course, have been registered against 3 of those who attended, including Sadhvi Annapurna Mahamandaleshwar, Dharmdas, and also Wasim Rizvi alias Jitendra Tyagi over hate speeches. So initial FIR was only against Wasim Rizvi alias Jitendra Tyagi, but as the president of the Shia Waqf Board, Shia Muslim Waqf Board, Wasim Rizvi, had since changed his name and converted to Hinduism. His name was Jitendra Tyagi. So there's a FIR against him. There's also an FIR against Sadhvi Annapurna and one against Mahamandaleshwar Dharmdas for their hate speeches. So it has been 4 days since that venom-spewing speech, and not one but multiple. Those venom-spewing speeches were made at the Haridwar Dharm Sansad calling for genocide and the formation of a Hindu Rashtra. 3 people who were caught on camera making communal speeches have now been booked, but as we just told you, they're yet to be arrested. This at a time when a Supreme Court lawyer too has now written to the Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna, urging him to take suo motu cognizance against and taking action against all these calls for ethnic cleansing.
A call to arms. Self-styled religious leaders take an oath to create Hindu Rashtra. Four days later, Uttarakhand police file an FIR. But the seers remain defiant. The spiritual leaders who gave speeches calling for violence against a community and at times even genocide at a 3-day Dharam Sansad in Haridwar between December 17th and 19th are refusing to budge. When India Today confronted these religious leaders, they claimed theirs was a call to self-defense.
हमने अपनी तरफ से कुछ नहीं कहा, हमने तो ये कहा हमारे सनातन धर्म, हमारे सनातन संस्कृति की परंपरा है कि हर देवी देवता पर अस्त्र है और अस्त्र की पूजा है तभी देवता की पूजा है। तो हर हिंदू को अपनी सुरक्षा के लिए शस्त्र लेकर खड़े रहना चाहिए।
सैकड़ों की संख्या महामंडलों से थे और साधु थे, सैकड़ों की संख्या में, हजारों की संख्या में लोग जनता थे, सनातन धर्म के मानने वाले लोग थे जो धर्म के लिए कार्य करना चाहते हैं। चर्चा केवल आत्मरक्षा के लिए धर्म रक्षा की चर्चा हो रही थी हमारे यहाँ।
What comes as a mystery is that police FIR on the event names only one person, Wasim Rizvi, alias Jitendra Tyagi, who recently converted from Islam to Hinduism. The sections invoked against him are bailable charges.
वहाँ पे उन्होंने आकर एक धर्म विशेष के खिलाफ इतनी आपत्तिजनक और भड़काऊ बयानबाजी की कि मैं आपको इसमें नहीं बता सकता। और उन्होंने यहाँ तक, प्रभुरानंद जी ने तो यहाँ तक कहा कि इनको म्यांमार की तर्ज पर यहाँ पे मुसलमानों का सफाया किया जाए और बहुत ज़्यादा भड़काने का उन्होंने प्रयास किया। इसलिए हमें सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से ज्ञात हुआ था।
Event organizer Yati Narsinhanand Giri, who has been caught in hate speech controversies earlier, is not booked.
धर्म और धर्म पे जो सनातन धर्म पे खतरे हैं उन पे चर्चा हो रही थी और सनातन धर्म का सबसे बड़ा खतरा है इस्लाम का जिहाद, और केवल हमारा खतरा नहीं है, पूरी दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा खतरा है। हम उस पर चर्चा करें तो और आगे भी करेंगे।
BJP leader Ashwini Upadhyay, who attended the meet, has distanced himself from the event.
हमने वहां जाके केवल इतना कहा था कि ये 20% संविधान बचा हुआ है, इसको लागू करना नितांत आवश्यक है। अब हिंदी का संविधान बांटना अगर अपराध है तब तो मैं अपराधी हूं, अगर संविधान के बारे में बताना अपराध है फिर तो मैं अपराधी हूं।
Days after the hate rant, no arrests have still been made.
जो हमारे पास कंप्लेंट आई है उसमें उसको जो कंप्लेंट करता है उसको हो सकता है औरों के नाम नहीं मालूम हो। हमारी विवेचना में सभी शामिल हैं, सबसे बात की जाएगी, सबके बयान लिए जाएंगे, हर कोई हमारी विवेचना में शामिल है।
Despite the massive uproar against poisonous hate speeches given during the event, shockingly, political parties of all shades have been muted in their criticism of hate speech. Only a few leaders have posted tweets condemning the calls for violence made by the seers. Over 70 advocates of the Supreme Court have now returned to Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramanna, asking the Supreme Court to take suo motu cognizance of the calls for ethnic cleansing, and said the speech poses a grave threat not just to the unity and integrity of our country, but also endangers the lives of millions of Muslim citizens. Bureau Report, India Today.
What kind of people are these who are making such speeches? What is their background? Who are these people? Let's take a look at some of these people who've made these hate speeches here at these rallies. So, India Today now wants to bring you these names. The three attendees who made these communal speeches at Haridwar. One, Sadhvi Annapurna Ma. Now, Sadhvi Annapurna is of the Niranjani Akhada. She is the Mahamandaleshwar, and she gave a call for violence against minorities in her speech. Then, of course, there is the Mahamandaleshwar Dharmdas Maharaj. Now, he hails from Bihar. He's now been booked for threatening to kill former Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Then, of course, there is also Wasim Rizvi. Wasim Rizvi was the head of the Shia Muslim Waqf Board till the time he converted to Hinduism, and he took a name Jitendra Tyagi. Now, the ex-Shia board chief has been booked for hate speeches against minorities in our country. What is this leading to? You're looking at these rants, you're looking at what is happening in our country. Christmas fervor, that turns sour in parts of India. Reports of vandalism and miscreants creating ruckus, they've been received from several parts of our country, from Karnataka to Haryana. Miscreants, for example, disrupted festivities at several churches, schools, and a statue of Jesus Christ. Now, that was desecrated at a church. Now, this church was established in 1840, and it is inside a military cantonment area in Ambala.
Vandalism, desecration, Christmas celebrations disrupted, commotion in schools. Christmas fervor turned sour after reports of vandalism and miscreants creating ruckus were received from parts of Haryana and Karnataka. In Ambala, a statue of Jesus Christ was vandalized in the city's cantonment area. The police say that the incident occurred on the intervening night of Saturday and Sunday at the Holy Redeemer Church. The cops are zeroing on two suspects, lodging case for hurting religious sentiments.
जो भी युवक नज़र आ रहे हैं, शायद शरारत के उसमें किसी ने या रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स को हर्ट करते हुए जो भी करा है, तो इसकी पूरी जांच करी जाएगी. जो भी कंप्लेंट हमें चर्च अथॉरिटी की तरफ से मिलेगी, संबंधित धारा में पर्चा दर्ज करा जाएगा, जांच करी जाएगी और जल्दी इनको आइडेंटिफाई करके राउंड अप करा जाएगा.
In another incident reported from Haryana's Kurukshetra, Bajrang Dal activists barged into a school and disrupted Christmas celebrations. After tearing posters in school, the right-wing men played Hanuman Chalisa.
20 से 25 लोग गेट से एंट्री करते हैं और हंगामा करते हैं, ऑफिस में आते हैं, तोड़फोड़ करते हैं, बैनर्स फाड़ते हैं. एक हमने स्टेज बनाई हुई थी, उस पर बच्चे परफॉर्मेंस दे रहे थे, कोई डांस कर रहा था, कोई श्लोक उच्चारण कर रहा था, कोई कुछ कर रहा था, कोई सेंटा बना हुआ था. तो बच्चों को आके कहते हैं कि सेंटा के ड्रेस हटाओ, ये करो, पेरेंट्स को तंग कर रहे थे.
Defending the move, Bajrang Dal says that it has done nothing wrong.
कल धर्म परिवर्तन के लिए बहुत बड़ी साजिश थी ये, जिसको हमने हटाया. कल हम सहारा स्कूल गए और वहाँ एक भी बच्चा ईसाइयों का नहीं था. सभी हिंदू बच्चों को जोकर बना के, सांता क्लॉज बना के वहाँ बहुत हमारे धर्म संस्कृति पर कुठाराघात किया जा रहा है.
In Gurugram, some miscreants allegedly barged into Christmas festivities. They took over the stage and chanted Jai Shri Ram slogans during Christmas.
प्रोग्राम चल रहा था, एकदम बीच में उन्होंने क्या किया, प्रोग्राम रोक के माइक को खोस के जो है और जय श्री राम के नारे लगाने स्टार्ट कर दिए. ऐसे करके उन्होंने उपद्रव किया.
In Karnataka's Chikbalapura, some miscreants allegedly pelted stones at a chapel on December 23rd. An FIR has also been registered in this case. On the same day, right-wing groups interrupted Christmas festivities in a Mandya school. The men asked teachers to stop celebrations, alleging a conversion racket run by the school staff, asking school staff to put up religious symbols of all faiths, including Hinduism and Islam.
ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳು 400 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು 400 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 40 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಇರೋ 400 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅವಕ್ಕೂ ಭಾವನೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಾಳೆ ದಿನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋ ಕೈ ಮುಗಿದ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ ಚರ್ಚ್ ಕಾಯ್ತವೆ.
The sudden hate drives timed with Christmas Day exposing the deep religious divide consuming parts of India. Bureau Report, India Today.
A whopping 257 crore rupees in cash recovered from a perfume trader in Kanpur in the past 3 days. Officials are still counting the cash. They're still counting notes using a note counting machine. Not just that, 25 kilograms of gold, silver, property documents, all of them seized in raids. We bring you details. Of course, perfume baron Piyush Jain has now been remanded to 2 weeks in custody. Big story coming up, 14 days police custody for UP's perfume baron Piyush Jain. 257 crore in cash, 23 kilograms in gold seized from Piyush Jain's residence in Kanpur by the Director General of GST Intelligence. This is the biggest ever cash seizure by the GST Intelligence. These were raids that were carried out at multiple locations based on very specific intelligence inputs. Not just that, drill machines have now been called in to drill holes in walls and floor, and more cash, according to sources, is being recovered. We get you more.
Bundles and bundles of cash. So much of cash that it's taking days for officials to count how much. This is perfume trader Piyush Jain's residence in Kanpur, where after a raid on December 24th, a whopping 257 crores of cash and counting was recovered. Note counting machines are being used to count all the cash that officials have recovered, and it's a mammoth task at hand to calculate exactly how much this UP businessman looted and scammed.
150 करोड़ के लगभग अनुमान है कि वो कैश होगा. अभी गिनती जारी है, लेकिन आपने सही कहा कि सीबीआईसी के हिस्ट्री में इतनी बड़ी कैश रिकवरी कभी नहीं हुई. इनकम टैक्स के केसेस में तो होती है. तो अब हम इस पे आगे जांच करेंगे, और क्योंकि उन्होंने टैक्स पे कर दिया, इसका मतलब वो भी मान रहे हैं कि उन्होंने ये गलत काम किया.
It took massive steel containers to carry out some of the currency recovered from Piyush Jain's residence. And this is just the cash. Kilos of gold, silver, property documents have also been seized.
जी मोबाइल तो मेरा जब आए थे तभी ले लिया था, और 11 बजे करीब मोबाइल मेरा मिला.
कुछ पूछताछ भी करी आपसे?
जी नहीं, हमसे कुछ पूछताछ नहीं.
Piyush Jain now languishes in police custody. His properties in Kannauj and Mumbai have also been sealed off. Raids underway to ascertain what wealth stash he has in his other properties. In the run-up to the UP elections, this massive raid has led to a political showdown as the BJP alleged an SP link.
जो पैसा इन्होंने लूट करके रखा था, आज दीवालों से कैसे निकल रहा है, इसका प्रमाण आज आप देख रहे होंगे कि कल 257 करोड़ रुपए और कई किलो सोना और चांदी निकला. आज भी लगभग 100 करोड़ रुपए और कई किलो सोना और चांदी निकल रहा है. ये पैसा गरीब का पैसा है, और गरीब का पैसा सत्ता के संरक्षण में कैसे लूटा जाता था, इसका प्रमाण भी है.
Just a few weeks ago, Akhilesh had launched a perfume, Samajwadi Sugandh, which according to the BJP was manufactured by scam king Piyush Jain. These images of bundles of cash at the Kanpur businessman's house has led to questions this election season on whether political patronage helped Piyush Jain amass this kind of unbelievable wealth over years. Bureau Report, India Today.
Piyush Jain is now being called Kanpur ka Kuber. The Income Tax Department on the 18th of December carried out raids even on Samajwadi Party leaders, including those considered close to Samajwadi Party Supremo and former Chief or Minister of Uttar Pradesh Akhilesh Yadav. In Lucknow, Samajwadi Party leader Jainendra Yadav's residence was raided in Ambedkar Park. Akhilesh Yadav's close aide Manoj Yadav, he was raided. Yadav incidentally is an owner of RCL Group. The third income tax raid took place on the residence of Samajwadi Party leader Rajiv Rai in Mao. Rai owns schools across several cities in Uttar Pradesh. The Income Tax Department on these raids on Samajwadi Party leaders led to the Samajwadi Party coming out very aggressively against the government. The Samajwadi Party leaders are riled. Akhilesh Yadav, who's repeatedly alleged that this is political vendetta. Yogi Adityanath, of course, termed the crackdown on those who looted the state when they were in power, and now justice is being done.
ये जो हथकंडे अपनाए जा रहे हैं, ये तब अपनाए जा रहे हैं कि जब उन्हें पूरा भरोसा हो गया कि सरकार जा रही है उनकी। ये वापस नहीं लौट रहे हैं। ये सोचते हैं कि समाजवादी विजय तक रुक जाएगा। आपने छापा मार करके ये बता दिया है कि आने वाले समय में समाजवादी लोग ही आ रहे हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता आपको हटाने जा रही है।
मैंने तो आज तक देखा था और मैंने सुना था और पुराणों में भी, धार्मिक ग्रंथों में भी यही बात मैं मानता था, सुनता था, देखता था कि देवी लक्ष्मी दीपावली के दिन दीपोत्सव के साथ आती है, लेकिन इन पापियों ने तो दीवालों में बंद करके रखा है। देखा आपने समाजवादी पार्टी के नेताओं के घरों में दीवालों से भी देवी लक्ष्मी अब निकलने लग गई है। नोटों की गड्डियां अनगिनत गिने नहीं जा रहे हैं, 3 दिन से गिने जा रहे हैं और गिनते गिनते जब सभी अधिकारी थक गए हैं तो समाजवादी पार्टी के बबुआ अपने जेब में बोतल लेकर के फिर रहे हैं। अब उनको अपना असली चेहरा जनता के सामने जब नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है तो स्वीडन में बनी हुई बोतल को अपनी जेब में रख करके एक नई नौटंकी करते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
We now shift focus to the other big story we are tracking here on India Today. Punjab Congress chief Navjot Singh Sidhu is in the eye of a storm over a statement he made. The senior Congress leader angered Punjab police for his comments at a political rally, asking party workers to follow the example of a leader who actually makes the police wet their pants. Manjeet Sehgal brings us more.
Punjab Congress controversy in chief strikes again. Navjot Singh Sidhu sparking yet another massive row through his tongue lashing. This time with a tirade against men in khaki. While boasting about Congress MLA Navtej Singh Cheema, Sidhu claimed that he is strong enough to make a police officer wet his pants. Sidhu even exhorted Congress workers to emulate Cheema and make men in khaki fall in line. The controversial remark led to sharp backlash from police officers who joined ranks to slam Sidhu for his unsavory remarks. Chandigarh Police DSP Dilsher Singh Chandel echoed the force when he asked Sidhu to surrender the police personnel guarding him if he harbors such mentality for cops. Many cops said that Sidhu is demoralizing men who protect and serve.
इस तरह के सीनियर लीडर अपनी ही फोर्स बारे इस तरह के शब्द बरतन और उन्होंने बेइज्जत करन, वही फोर्स उन्होंने हिफाजत करती है, उन्होंने फैमिली की हिफाजत करती है, उन्होंने राखी करती है।
ये बहुत ही माड़ी गल है कि साडे खिलाफ यह जी जिहड़ी भाषा वो एक बहुत ही बड़े अहुदेदार वालों ये बोली गई है।
Despite the widespread outrage among the police force, Navjot Singh Sidhu remains unapologetic, claiming that his statement was twisted.
ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝ ਲਓ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰੇਕ ਜੀ ਲੋਹੇ ਦੇ ਚਣੇ ਚਬਾਣਾ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੂੰਹ 'ਚ ਲੋਹਾ ਪਾ ਦਿਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਲੋਹਾ ਚੱਬੇਗਾ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਫਿਕਸ਼ਨਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਰੋਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਤੋੜੀ ਮੋੜੀ ਜਾਓ ਜੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ
Sidhu's remarks put his party, the Congress, in a spot which seemed to be on the back foot. Opposition Akali Dal advised him to think before speaking.
मैं समझदा ਇਹ ਮੰਦਭਾਗੀ ਘਟਨਾ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਡਿਮੋਰਲਾਈਜ਼ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜੇ ਆ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ
ਮੈਂ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਿਉਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਭੱਦੀਆਂ ਟਿੱਪਣੀਆਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਮਨੋਬਲ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਨੋ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਸਮਝੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੀੜਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਿੱਪਣੀਆਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰੇ ਔਰ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਟਿੱਪਣੀਆਂ ਵਿਡਰਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਾਫੀ ਮੰਗੇ
The motor-mouthed Sardar once again causing red faces in the Congress in the poll-bound state.
The remarks have also sparked a political slugfest as Shiromani Akali Dal has questioned the silence of Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi and Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa over the controversial remarks. With video journalist Dilip Sahu, this is Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh for India Today.
Co-presented by Berger Paints. Paint your imagination.
And in a major morale booster for the Aam Aadmi Party in Chandigarh ahead of assembly elections in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party has won big in municipal polls. Aam Aadmi Party won 14 seats in the 35 ward of the Chandigarh Municipal Corporation election. The BJP bagged 12 seats, the Congress 8. Of course, no party has managed to get the majority mark on its own of 18. Aam Aadmi Party convener and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal appreciated the role of his party workers in this win and said municipal elections is only indicative of how the party will perform in the assembly elections in Punjab early February, March 2022. Arvind Kejriwal also said Chandigarh has rejected the corrupt politics and picked up honesty of the Aam Aadmi Party. This has been an impressive performance. This was a poll debut for the Aam Aadmi Party. The party also dented the BJP's seat share as the Saffron Party could only win 12 seats. Perceived as a party with rural appeal, the Aam Aadmi Party has made inroads now in an urban vote base.
ये दिख रहे हैं उसमें आम आदमी पार्टी पहली बार इस तरह से वहाँ चुनाव लड़ रही है और बहुत शानदार वेलकम चंडीगढ़ के लोगों ने आम आदमी पार्टी का किया है तो मैं चंडीगढ़ के एक एक वोटर का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ और उन कार्यकर्ताओं का जिन्होंने दिन रात मेहनत करके ये सफलता हासिल की है उनको बधाई देना
चुनाव से पहले इसे अपने लिए बड़ी एक तरह से सफलता मान रहे आधार तैयार होगा आम आदमी पार्टी
विधानसभा चुनाव में तो पंजाब के लोगों का मन वैसे ही बना हुआ है कि अब एक बार मौका केजरीवाल जी को देना है
The sentiment that we witnessed in Chandigarh was that people in no uncertain terms said that we are absolutely frustrated with these existing established Rivaiti Siyasatdan and political parties. We want an alternative, a new form of governance, and they were with a lot of hope looking at Mr. Kejriwal. People of Chandigarh have voted for Mr. Kejriwal. People of Punjab will vote for Mr. Kejriwal, and I can say this with a sense of responsibility that Chandigarh is merely a trailer. The picture of Punjab is still left to be seen.
News coming in after West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee claimed that the centre had frozen all bank accounts of Mother Teresa's missionaries of charity. The Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a clarification saying that foreign funds contribution registration for missionaries has not been extended and that the Ministry of Home Affairs has not frozen any account of missionaries of charity as claimed by certain political leaders and people. FCRA registration of the missionaries of charity expired on the 31st of October. The validity was extended till the 31st of December. But based on certain inputs, renewal application has been refused. And moving on to other news, 2021 was largely dominated by people working from home, and homes were in focus, from how people looked at doing at perhaps their study room, their dining room, or wherever they made their Zoom calls, how they made their homes cozier. Now at India Today, we decode some of these trends. India Today's Chaiti Narula with this luxury and lifestyle report.
2021, a year when people work from homes. What was the dominant trend for homes? Maximalist or minimalist?
I would say it's maximalist because a lot of stuff was needed at home. Your home needed to be the best Michelin star restaurant. Your home needed to be the best movie theater, the luxury movie theater that we've been used to going to. You needed to entertain your friends in the best lounges or bars that you're used to going out to. So a lot of elements were added. So definitely maximalist.
A lot more attention was paid to people's home offices.
Home office is going to be the most important space in our homes because of a lot of reasons. And if we don't have a good home office at home, we'll always be tempted to pack our bag and go out to work, which is not always the greatest thing in these very dynamic environments. So there should always be a good option and a tempting enough option to be at home. And of course, it has to be, first of all, very private. It has to be soundproofed, and we can't be taking calls or doing Zoom calls with the whole home involved in it. It's just not fair to everybody, and it's not even fair to you and to the person across the screen. So it has to be very private, and of course it has to be something which is very motivating, and it has to be very clean with your favorite quotes written around. And the advantage is that you're not really sitting in an office environment or an office space where there are multiple people, so it's all your energy.
So how did some make their homes cozier? And how can you, especially now with Omicron and more people going back to work from home arrangement again?
To make it cozy, then you layer it out. Your walls can't be white because ceilings are mostly white, so walls need color. They can have wallpapers or just a simple coat of paint, a beige paint, or any tonal paint will also do the trick. You have to take out your best carpets or invest in good carpets. You have to invest in good vases and some arrangements. If you can get fresh flowers, that'll be amazing. You have to take out your throws or invest in throws, or take out your old shawls and put them across the sofas to get that warmth in. I mean, put a lot of things together, but don't clutter it. They have to have a sense of harmony or balance, but they have to sit with each other like they've been there forever, and the warmth will come in.
The furniture, colors, layers, and the overall decor impacts your mood and attention, and this was a year of these realizations and more.
Ralph Lauren just fits in perfectly, and there's a lot of heritage, the character also in Ralph. So it fits in very well because a lot of pieces are inspired by different periods. Fendi Casa, I would say, is very glam, very chic. It follows the runway fashion, and whereas Armani Casa is very elegant, a little bit more minimalistic, not a lot of flares. One piece will make its statement, and it's there, and yet not there. Very elegant, a little understated. So different brands, and recently Dolce & Gabbana launched their own collection, which was inspired by different cultures of Italy. It's very exotic.
In a year full of uncertainties, the home was the citadel. And how you did it up also reflected your inner personality.
The focus was definitely on themselves. It was very people-oriented. So a home office or a study, and of course, when I say it was oriented around people, it was also oriented around their experiences, around what they've grown up or what they've aspired over the years. Some people had memories of spending summer holidays in their childhood in some palace, which they wanted to, get into their homes, or some people related to a certain movie that they just absolutely loved, and they wanted maybe a Godfather kind of a movie some people loved, and they said, we love that vibe, we want that. So it was around people, but it was also around their experiences and around their memories and things that have shaped their personalities.
All in all, 2021 was a year of reflection. Cozy homes played a part. And you don't have to have all the money in the world to make it look gorgeous.
I think 2021 was more like a year of discovery, and 2022 is going to be a more definitive year of character, you know, where you've discovered what you want, and now I think the 2022 the New Year resolutions will also be not very long term or what you want to do in this world, but it'll definitely be what you want to do with your own self. So similarly in interiors, you will be very sure, okay, I need this particular room and this is the vibe that, or the style that I want it in. And there's going to be not one particular trend, like I won't be able to call it modernism or traditional or anything. It's going to be very eclectic. It's going to be a fusion of a lot of things, and it's going to be merged with people's personalities.
With that, hoping for a 2022 that is not homebound, but the trends that would define 2022 would not just be restricted to visual aesthetics, but will go beyond and convey a lot of personal expressions. In New Delhi, Chaiti Narula for India Today.